So I've got a whole side of salmon. I'll cut that up into, I'll probably get 3, 4 portions, I reckon, out of that. I want to do a whole lot. So if you're going to go through the process of getting the heat, creating the smoke, do a whole side because it's going to keep for a long time. Smoking, the process of smoking preserves the meat. So I'll portion this up. To go with it, I've got a few little things. We're going to make a dressing to go with it, and then we're going to do some popped pepitas. So I'll show you how to do that. But let's get this salmon in the smoker first. So we'll get our portions done. Like I said, if you've got whole side, if you're going through that process of getting your smoker lit, you might as well do a decent amount because it is going to keep. So we've got about 4 portions there. So we'll get our racks out, put them on, back inside and let that smoke. It's going to take about 25 minutes. We're at a pretty good temperature at the moment. It's at about 180. Once this gets in there, it's going to knock that temperature down to a good smoking temperature. So it's going to take about 25, 30 minutes for us to smoke all the way through, get that smoke flavour, but also cook all the way through. And while that's happening, I'm going to create the rest of the dish around that. So we'll get these in first. So our side of Huon salmon is in there now. We can close that up and let the smoker do its thing. So to go with that, I want to make it, I've got a little bit of sort of a French dressing left here. I want to add some extra flavour to that. So I've got some Italian sausage or salami. I want to dice this, then I'm going to pop it into a pan and render out as much of the fat or the oil as I possibly can and use that as the oil base for my dressing. And then I'll keep hold of all these little crunchy bits of salami. And I'm also going to cook off some of those pepitas. So I'll toast some of those in what's left in that, any oil that's left in that pan. And we'll end up with a little crunchy topping that can go on top of some of our hot smoked salmon and a dressing that we can dress it with. So pop that in to a cold pan. The reason you want to go into a cold pan is that you want to bring the heat into it slowly so you can render and extract some of that, as much of that fat as possible. Pop that on the heat next to it. And I'm just going to let that tick over until we get out as much of that oil as we possibly can. We want our little bits of salami to be nice and crunchy, so it's probably going to take a good 10 to 15 minutes at a medium heat. Then we'll drain off that oil into here with a little bit more lemon juice, and then I'll throw my pepitas in with the crunchy salami and toast them as well. So you can see the oil that's come out of a little bit of salami. So I want to extract that into our jar to make our dressing. I want to leave a little bit of oil left just to be able to toast my pepitas in. So this will go back on the heat, and then I'll pop my pepitas in. So pepitas are just pumpkin seeds. Just that. And then we'll toast them in there with that the remainder of that salami and a little bit of that oil. So heat, they pop. These little pepitas, as the heat gets into them, they'll start to pop. They toast, it takes on a completely different flavour. Beautiful toastiness. And that'll end up, I need a little bit of lemon juice in this just to counteract the amount of fat that we added in there, or oil that we added in there, and a little pinch of salt. Salt. Give that a shake. All right, so that'll be our dressing for our fish. And this will be our texture on top of our fish. Speaking of our fish, let's check. Oh, it's starting to get there, looking beautiful. That's probably the halfway mark. They're done, so they can come off. Get a portion of our salmon out. Oh, look at that. That looks phenomenal. Right, let's take one tray out. Oh, so bad. Oh man. So what I want to do, I might actually, I'll get it onto the plate first before I dress it. Let's get it off there. Put it onto our plate. And then with our little salami dressing, while it's nice and warm and wants to take on that extra flavour, just give it a bit of a brush with that. Then, a little spoonful of our pepitas all around. Those sort of crunchy pepitas will add texture because this is going to be nice and moist and really soft and really delicate. So a little bit of extra crunch from the pepitas, and we're saving that salami that we used our oil from. We've basted our warm smoked fish in that beautiful dressing, so it's ready to go. A little pinch of salt on top. So that would be the piece that you would serve up at a barbecue with a nice little salad and people could get stuck into it. And then all these pieces here, you could save. And then over the next couple of weeks, you can eat them. But for me, a Christmas dish, sit that down or a couple of those down at the Christmas table, let people try hot smoked salmon straight out of the smoker with a few different salads, a nice little fennel salad or something like that. And that is a beautiful shared Christmas dish with those green and red colours on top.